Bum, bum, bum. What's up, everybody, and what's going on? Just woke up in the morning, and it is time to start the comeback. After, 9 months since I last posted anything katsuki x sis? X Izuku sis. Gosh, it has been quite a while. I do apologize for the fact that it's been so long, but I wanted there to be like a specific date and stuff, and then I want other things to happen. But I figured today of all days would be most fitting, since that's when the very first one was posted. The very first one being posted on Katsuki Bakugo's birthday. Happy birthday, you explosive little bean. If I sound a little different, it's because I'm a little older. It's been quite a while since you've last heard me. And some things have happened, so I'm guessing my vocal sounds different, because it sounds different to me, and I don't know if anyone else can pick that up. Plus, I just woke up, so it's going to be probably a little different. I deeply apologize. But yes, hello and welcome to a comeback. So this is going to be composed into 3 little minis. So it'll be one main next part 40. We're already on part 40, guys. This is a very long series that I'm so shocked people are still here for. I'm thoroughly shocked that people still come for, like, the last one has like a 700, and then it goes from 700, 1K. Like, dang, that's really cool. Like, it's really, really cool. I've been also noticing that some people will watch previous parts and then skip to the end. But yeah. Anyway, back to the thing. We were in class. It was the day after the events took place with Todoroki's father. Heavy day indeed. Some of the classmates were talking about it. I could hear Kiri talking to Denki about how he got chills, but was amazed that he was able to pull through. I mean, the events took place were really crazy. Endeavor almost lost, but then brought back with such power. It was incredible to see. Todoroki's been taking it day by day. After almost hyperventilating, he's just been kind of quiet. He's been doing better, though. Luckily, with my brother as his friend and his other friends, I feel like they've been helping him a lot. I'm glad for that. On the other hand, I've been kind of busy. I've had people ask me to train with them left and right, so it's been kind of hard being pulled around at every corner. And by mean left and right, being training, I was training with Izuku, Katsuki, Shinso, and a few other of our classmates whenever they would ask. I can't really say no, but it's hard to fit everyone into my schedule. I feel kind of popular. It feels weird. I was cut from my thoughts when the door made a sound. Looking over, Todoroki entered. Of course, his friends Ida and my wonderful brother. Uku ran over there and asked him about how Endeavor's condition was doing. Apparently it wasn't anything serious. That's good. I was a little worried myself. He didn't look in the best shape, but knowing that's not anything serious, that's great. They started asking him some questions. Ida tried to calm him down so that way he wouldn't be overwhelmed. It was a whole scene. Well, more like Minette asked a very uncomfortable question and so on and so forth. But anyway, soon after Todoroki comes in, we all hurry to take our seats. Because, as if we could sense it, seconds later, Mr. Aizawa opens the door saying how the bell had rang and how we should all be in our... He cuts himself off. Okay. We win. He comes up to his little podium thing. It's time to start getting more serious. Things are going to be getting harder from here. Even though you only have provisional license, you've been given the certification to act as heroes in an official capacity. Or at least most of you have. 2 of you remain in supplemental courses. From this moment on, we'll be kicking your training up a notch. Now for the homeroom lecture... He's cut off by this weird caution lights. The whole room goes red and loud buzzers are placed in the classroom. Confusion? Is it villain attack? Oh god, not again. Suddenly a voice is brought out. Emergency drill, emergency drill. Hypothetical villains have infiltrated UA High School grounds. Assistance from the hero chorus of 1A is requested. Suddenly our costumes were brought out. What the heck? Please change in your hero costumes and report as soon as possible. This is gonna be weird. Though I guess this is kind of to be expected. So sorry about that. I mean, villain attacks are so common nowadays that I guess they have to make drills about it. This is going to be intense, I hope. It'd be good training, so yeah. I slowly rise from my seat as everyone else does. Ida from the back of the class says, "You heard the announcement, everyone! Let's do this!" And so we all head forward. Why is it not resuming? As soon as we're done changing, we're running outside trying to fight whatever quote-unquote villain we're fighting. Ida starts with the brief. At the moment, our tactical information is limited, but we know that villains have infiltrated Ground Beta. Even if this is only a drill, we should carry it out. This mission as though our lives are on the line. We need to understand the situation better. Reconnaissance squad, if you will. We're on it. Koda starts asking his birds to go and find if there's any injuries around. I pull out my glasses and start scanning the area. I'm not really part of their team, it's just force of habit. Jiro plugs herself into the ground and is able to track certain noises. Shoji then goes and confirms that he sees the smoke coming from that exact direction, meaning we should probably head there first. We are having intel that the smoke is coming from a fire on one of the buildings. Momo offers to help with her quirk. Sadly, Mineta has to be a freaking pervert, so we had to quiet him for a while. I looked over to notice Izuku was staring as Katsuki was coming. What a good boy. I looked to see Katsuki too. A blush crept on my cheeks. We're a couple now. It feels weird to say that. Kind of foreign, actually. I mean, I had feelings, but it's just weird to know that something was able to happen. I had never known about all of this happening at once, and it was just a lot to understand. Understanding that he had feelings, being able to actually get together, overthinking it a lot. Heck, I even tried flirting for a little bit to see how that felt for the first time. Everything's weird. I feel like I rushed into something that I should have been careful for, but at the same time, I couldn't be happier to be in the relationship I'm in. I don't know. I've been spending a lot of time with Katsuki with all the special training we keep doing together, but something just still feels weird. Not about our relationship, but something on my conscience, like as if something's going to come in between it. Maybe it was the fact that we rushed rather than talk for a while longer. Or, I don't know. I popped myself out of my brain. I look back over to what the team's doing. Ida and Todoroki are starting to get ready to be like a running ice cart. It makes sense. More start adding on to their group. Suddenly, though, everyone's interrupted from what they're doing as Kota yells out, "Oh no!" We all look over. "Someone's been swept up by the river!" "A victim?" Ida says later. Okay.
It's our turn now, Grape Juice. We'll save them.
Froppy says, as Minetta perks up. A rescue mission. Normally I'm taking part in that, but this is with water. So Froppy's team has to go, rather than me joining. Guess I'm going to be on another line of defense this time. Although I'm normally on rescue. My brother screams out, "We'll open up the rear!" Everyone nods, but then I look behind me. Katsuki is walking the other way, but is dragging along his friends. I guess that training didn't go to crap after all. Oh. I start to walk over to Kirishima as I hear Katsuki say, "We're looking for villains. Leave the rescuing to the extras." Huh? What? Wait, seriously? I can hear Kaminari saying after. Typical Katsuki, I mumble out. Kiri looks over, just barely noticing my existence, and waves. Hi, Kiri. As we're heading over to what looks like a car, as Katsuki forcefully puts Denki in the main. I personally would have chosen him to drive the car, but oh well. Another explosion happens behind us. Maybe there is villains. I check in my radio to hear conversations to see if anything's happening. Looks like they're just as shocked as we are. So there's nothing? Not from my connection. I keep my radio on for a little bit to hear some yelling. After they say everything has got under control, my radio suddenly spurs out with Jiro's voice. "Careful! There's something heading in your direction!" Then I hear some grunting for a little bit. Appears there is villains on the case. Damn, Pikachu, do you have that higher warp yet? Higher warp, sorry. Wired up yet? It's a little harder than it looks. Are they trying to hotwire the car? I hope they finish it soon. It feels weird to just stand here. Same, I really want to go help everyone. Are you having any luck in there? It's not easy! Hold on. I get in the passenger seat and start melting some of the plastic parts for the wires to be more connected for him. There, just put your electricity into this and it should turn on. Sure enough, once he did it, the car turned on. Was that hard, Denki? Why are you gonna tease me like this? Just keep them in your mouth and continue driving. We are now driving forward, trying to find where everyone's at. Okay. Kiri, go ahead first. I see them up ahead. Finally, I get to say. As Katsuki is blowing us forward with his wonderful explosion powers so that we can go a little bit faster. Kiri is launched forward. Wonderfully. Beautifully executed plan. And by beautifully executed, I mean like right on the spot. I am so sorry, Kiri. He headbutts Tokoyami right in the back. Poor soul. Guys! Izuku mumbles. Kirishima turns around. Here comes the Big Bang! I'm currently on the hood of the car. Katsuki's currently on the hood of the car. I'm currently on the top of the car. I had to climb out because he wanted it to be a combo move between the two of us. Katsuki talks over to where Denki's at. Can't you push this thing any harder, or do you need wine for everything? I'm trying! Can't you realize that I'm charging this as hard as I can? Katsuki takes a hold of my hand. We then explode into the air, spinning as I'm throwing very light versions of my acid, so that way it's invisible to the human eye. It sprays pretty much all over the group. Thankfully. We continue to spin as he lets go as I grab a hold of him with my quirk, helping him guide along so he can perfect this move towards everyone that's there, as well as preventing his explosion from getting on anyone else. It's a combo we came up with a while ago. I'm now using Puppet on him, so that way he can move through the air and glide a lot easier, even though he's already capable of doing so himself. I'm more in charge of the explosions and making sure he stays in air. Katsuki's able to land a good hit after screaming, "Prepare to be murdered!" Tamaki, oh, poor Tamaki. He was so scared. As Katsuki finally gets a hit and puts him onto the ground, I lower myself. After taking out Amajiki, and they took out Haru apparently, everything seemed to be good. Momo then cheers that she thinks we've completed the drill. I think they've already recovered Mirio from the lake, as I've heard earlier in the radio. So that's good. Whew. I kind of wish we were able to help out more, but stubborn Katsuki is stubborn Katsuki. And of course, speaking of stubborn Katsuki, as everyone's congratulating that they won after the drill was called to be over, Katsuki's yelling at Amajiki, "Fight me! You went easy on me earlier, didn't you?" I walk over to Katsuki. Get off the poor guy. Tamaki tries anything. No, I was terrified by your face. Don't you underestimate me! Oh, for the love of God. Besides, I don't care if you were acting, or that you're an upperclassman. Villains have to be taught a lesson. Oh dear God, I don't like this verse. I don't like where this is going. You're done for, loser! I have to use my quirk to lift him off of Tamaki. Surprisingly, he still has a grip, and I have to shake them for a little bit before he actually lets go. Like a clingy puppy to his toy. Amajiki. I should have gone home. Katsuki, calm your hands. Calm your hands! After screaming out the word die, he lets out a humongous explosion, which is horribly difficult for me to try to contain. Poor Amajiki, I was only able to slide him out after the effects. And a big smoke cloud that looks like a gigantic skull is now above us. God damn it, Katsuki. I bring him closer to me as I give him a head pat. He looks utterly angry as I boop him on the nose and then just kind of carry him with the rest of the class. Put me down! Nope. Everyone else looks so scary. After the events of the explosion, I was only able to rescue a few people from not experiencing, but some people still got a little after I was trying to take them out in time. Everyone has afros right now, and it's kind of funny. Not saying that I'm any better. My hair poofed up like a poof ball. I look like a poodle. Oh, everyone looks so bad. I feel so bad. I'm sorry. That same night was kind of weird. After a long training Izuku had asked me and Katsuki to be a part of, all of us were really drained. To the point where Izuku didn't even mind that me and Katsuki slept in the same room. He just walked right straight to his room and then just passed out. We were all really tired. Weirdly, though, we were woken up by a strange noise. While I was sleeping in Katsuki's room, cuddling sleepily, we heard a loud shattering noises. Huh? Our room isn't too far from Izuku's, but it's a little far. I slowly got up. Katsuki was reluctant, still half asleep. He sleeps very deeply, shockingly. At least when he wants to be. I wiggle my way out of there and start to head over to where Uku's at. Ugh, I have a weird chill all of a sudden. I don't think it's just because I'm cold. Like normal. I rub my arms up and down as I continue walking. I go to Izuku's room to see his, neighbor, I guess? Ayama is just standing outside of his door, knocking on it, and trying to sneak his head in. I put my hand on his shoulder. I don't think he locked it. As we opened it to see the entire room is... Oof. Even his All Might stuff. Oh, he's not going to be happy about that when he wakes up. Everything is on the floor, including some All Might figurines. And the window is shattered. Izuku is breathing heavily, staring at his hand, which is lightened by his quirk. I walk over to him immediately and sit down next to him and grab his shoulders. Hey, Uku, hey, you okay? Look at me. Hey, you okay? He looks at me, still shaking. What was that? I don't know. Care to explain? After checking in on him breathing, him saying some stuff about a dream, and then says, can we go for a walk? Oh, it's so late at night. Sure. After that, we're now jogging outside of the school plains. It is so late at night. So, what happened? I had a weird dream. It was like a vision rather than a dream, to be honest. He started to explain this weird dream. It was him next to a bunch of other people. My assumption, people that involve his quirk, based off other things he had told me later. All that could be seen was was above his nose and his hand. The one that was activated when I had first walked into the room. He was watching a scene play as he was standing next to these other people who were in this bubble. The two people, he told me, were the original people to have the quirk. The one to have the original quirk and the one who was the big villain from that fight. Ugh. A chill goes down my spine. Memories of the kidnapping, the fighting, finding out that the person I cared about so much wasn't even my real father and was tricking me, trying to get me to join the League of Villains. I took a deep breath. I hate that memory. I wish it never happened. But then again, I can't say I hate it entirely. That's the breaking point for Katsuki, too. It's what helped push him to be able to open up a lot of walls he was building for so long. And the only reason he got the confidence for half the stuff that we were able to push through. A lot of our training together, that consisted of us getting to finally, break through and accept the fact that teammates are really helpful. I push away the bittersweet thought and look back at Izuku as he continues to explain more events that happened. He goes into detail about the scene that was played in front of him. Not a very fun scene, as he was telling me. Towards the end of the dream, though, he told me that the original user came up to him, telling him that he wants to show him more, but since he doesn't use enough of the power yet, he can't tell him the whole story. He reached out, and right before they touched each other's hands, the glass shattered and he woke up, breathing heavily. So you were using your quirk in your sleep? I guess. This is also weird. I place a hand on Izuku's shoulder, stopping us from running for a little bit. Are you gonna be okay? That was an intense dream. Is there anything you want to say? Just to get off your mind? Well, when the dream ended, right when our hands touched, I saw the predecessors reaching out to me. Other people who had had the quirk. One was a female. She kind of looked familiar for some reason. The others were males, as I could tell. One of them kind of looked like All Might, too, with his hair. That's terrifying. Yeah, don't get me wrong, that was. One of them looks... Well, two of them look serious. They all have a different hue, except for the girl. One was red, blue, purple. The one that looked like All Might was yellow. But the girl just looked normal, as the guy did. My brain immediately jumps to maybe pure white as a theme color, but I don't know. She had other colors on her. I don't know what any of this means. I'm guessing you're not sleeping much tonight, huh? No, probably not. Well, when All Might wakes up, we can go ask him. But other than that, maybe you can use this as a motivation to work harder? Like you said, you need to get past 20% to learn more of the story. Maybe you'll find out why everything's happening once you get to 100. And more, if that is a thing. Though this makes me wonder, do you think something else is going to happen with your quirk? If you're having stuff like this happen, maybe there's something else going to pop up with your quirk. Like, maybe this will mean you can have stronger assets, or something else will be able to be moved, like maybe an air spear? I don't know, I'm trying to think of solutions here. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Yeah. But, how long do you plan on running? Because, pulls up phone, checks time. It's like 3 in the morning. You can go back to bed. But I don't want you to be lonely. As two greenheads were crying in the middle of the walkway to our dormitory. Eventually, Izuku drags himself back to the dorms with me as we stay in my room as I turn off all my heaters. I don't understand how you can have it so sweaty in here. You know better than anyone else that I would die without them. Yeah. I managed to get him to relax enough to go back to sleep. Shockingly. Although the morning after will be horrible from having to wake up. In the morning, we met up with All Might. I had texted him the night prior that there was an emergency that we needed to talk about in the morning. He shot back, okay, will do, when he woke up the next day. Oh well. After we all met up in the place for Izuku to be able to talk about his dream better, it was not the brightest, to say the least. You witnessed memories of the original? I did. It was scary. Mostly because All for One was part of the dream, too. You've seen them, right? When you were younger, you saw the spirits of those who wielded our quirk? Yeah, I saw them. I learned from my master, my predecessor, that is about the existence of vestiges. That's why I even know about how the power functions. I witnessed its history. The memory stopped after the first wielder was given the quirk. Then he spoke to me about how I'm only using 20%, and something he called a singularity. He was looking right at me. He begins to talk about the sports festival and past memories. About something in the middle of a fight. Clearly I didn't know at this time, so I didn't know much about this happening. He wasn't able to tell me. I don't think he ever got around to it because I don't remember this happening. I didn't experience it like you did, All Might finally says. That's not good. Based on what I know, this phenomenon has only happened to you. So I was right. This means something's going to happen with Izuku. I best keep a close eye on him for now. I look at Izuku, and then we look at All Might. He's quiet, clearly lost in thought. After a few minutes pass, me and Izuku look at each other and look back at him. All Might, are you still with me? He's now spewing blood. Oh god, oh god! I quickly pick up a napkin using my quirk and usher it to him. He takes it thankfully. What impresses me is after this whole weird thing happens, after All Might asks about singularities, Zuko's able to bring up a topic on his own. I'm starting to feel like the odd one out here. But I'll continue to stay because I want to support my brother. He starts talking about quirk combinations and how they end up fusing and mixing and merging in weird ways through childbirth from two people having a specific quirk and then getting a genetic new one. Mine, I gotta say, was kind of weird. The whole fire, then merging with telekinesis, equaling to stomach acid that floats. It's not exactly what you would call a normal quirk. And it's a weird interpretation of mixing between between two people like that. But I kind of like it. The idea of it. Mixing in weird and wonderful ways. That's why it shocked me so much when I found out Izuku didn't have a quirk. I had gotten my quirk a little earlier than Izuku. A year earlier, to be precise, since I was an early quirker. It shocked me so much that he didn't get any. It made no sense. One twin born with a powerful quirk, and another born quirkless. It didn't add up. Most of the time, when a child was born with a quirk, it normally gave him a quirk, but especially with quirks like telekinesis, even if it's a weak level, plus fire breathing, again, even though they're weak levels, still you would think something would happen. I didn't believe for a second what the doctor said about them being weak quirks or anything like that. Because normally with twins, they end up getting either the same quirk or a similar quirk and work together. Because their genes are so aligned, they get so similar of quirks. Or maybe they'll get one quirk from one parent and one quirk from the other parent. It's normally very set in stone that they'll both have something similar to each other. But one having a powerful quirk and the other one having no quirk? It's not unheard of, but it's so rare. It's so rare that I only think there's only few cases out there. This makes me think about why this could have happened. How this happened, for that fact. I always felt guilty as a child, being an early quirker with a large quirk. I always thought that I had cursed Izuku to never have a quirk because of that. Let's just say I didn't have the highest opinion of myself when I was younger. I shake my head and go back into the conversation they're having. All Might starts asking Izuku if there's anything else he can remember about the dream. He brings up about the figures he couldn't really make out and the fact that he looked like a ghostly shadow, but with gold instead of, fading. All Might says that he's not unable to give his opinion based on the fact that he doesn't really know, but he wants to ensure Izuku that everyone there is going to be his ally. It still makes me nervous, though. Oh, and about your old predecessor, he brings up after a little bit more conversation. They seem to share a flashback until he says, "She was so beautiful!" And then he looks over, and then All Might just cheers, "I know!" Okay? Confusion. You're kidding me, I didn't record any of what I share a look of confusion at the two. Oh, no. All Might gets up and walks over to a picture frame he had on his desk. Remember? Oh, that's the one you showed me a while ago, yeah. No doubt she's pretty. I saw her... You said it was in your All Might cuts himself off. Oh, right. Yeah, I know her. She, it was in my ex-dad, I guess, his office. Whenever I would see her photo there and I would ask, he would always say that I would get to meet her one day. I never know what that meant. But he would always have this weird smile when he would say it. I don't know what he meant by that. But now that he's in the League of Villains, or at least always was, and I never knew, I have an idea of what he meant by that. A bitter look is on my face. Izuku looks at me with sympathy. I shake my head. Don't worry about it. Anyway, don't we have something to do? Oh, right. You guys have a training in the afternoon. We better go. We don't want to be late. As the two headed forward, I told them I would be right back. I wanted to make sure Katsuki was okay. I had to leave him alone. He's probably wondering where the heck I went last night. So I went over to go find him. I could hear some weird noises after I had left, though. I think Mr. Aizawa had caught the two walking together and was beginning to tease them. As I was walking away, though, something caught my attention. I overheard Izuku say, "Hey, Shinso, are you working with Mr. Aizawa?" They were having a training without me? How dare they? They could have at least called. I sigh it off and go find Katsuki. Eventually, I find the blonde-headed Pomeranian and decide to sneak up on him from behind. As he's talking to Kirishima, I sneak on him from behind and give him a back hug. He jolts up and then looks behind with a death glare until he sees me. Where the hell were you in the morning? Uku had a nightmare, so he called me over. He laughs at that. I give him a look. Nothing. Anyway, there's somewhere we're supposed to be soon. Uh-huh. We should probably get going. I need to get changed in my outfit. He nods, already bored of what's happening. I hope you can show off that training we've been doing. He looks to the side. Small blush on his face. Whatever. You'll understand that in the minisode. Kiri looks at the both of us, looking confused. Let's do our best, okay? Yeah. What the heck did they mean by that? Oh, which reminds me, I need to meet up with Shinso later. I quickly run to go get change. It appears Katsuki had heard me say that, as he looked at me with a confused look as I was running away. After I quickly get change, I head over to where Shinso and Mr. Aizawa was at. At least where they told me to meet them. I thought you would be late. Almost, but I made it here on time. Alright, you remember what we talked about? Absolutely. I remember exactly what's going on. Heh. You forgot immediately, didn't you? No, I did not. I remember that we're going to be fighting and that it'll be weird. Basically, we are going to have Shinso entered in 2 fights, and you'll be entered in the same fights on the opposing team. This will help better Shinso's training. Right, that's what you had told us was gonna happen. And a basic way of explaining of what's happening is our Class 1A and Class 1B will be fighting each other. And there'll be certain rounds where Class 1A will be versus a team of Class 1B in a random picking. Shinso will be added to 2 of those teams, one for Class 1A and one for Class B. I'll be added to the opposing team, and so that way I can fight off with them. Since I was the most to help Shinso train, it was just seen as the best option. That way the other team had an even amount of players and someone who knew what they were doing. But one rule is I was not allowed to reveal any secrets about Shinso in order to allow him to fight best with his element of surprise. for at least the first team. The second team, though, I don't know if we would be able to, since he would probably use it in the first match. I told him to save any form of secondary tricks for later, so that way he can have still an element surprise in the next round. I'm simply there just to help go along with the other group, and to guide them in case anything else happens. Like, extra credit help? This should be fun. Though I'm kind of disappointed I won't be able to, I might not be able to fight with Katsuki. But it'll probably work out anyway. He needs to learn to practice with other people as well. Our training looks kind of funny the way I set it up, so hopefully he'll take that into account. We start heading where Mr. Aizawa is going. He told us to wait somewhere as he called out the teams. From where I could peek, I could see Izuku and Katsuki were looking for me. Not really sure where I was at and was kind of upset that I wasn't there immediately. Whoops, sorry. I guess I did forget to inform them that I would be fighting against them in a weird way. But, oh well. They'll figure it out. A quick switch to Bakugo's point of view as he's walking in. What the hell is she? As I was walking in with all the other extras, everyone's outfit was changed and they were talking about that for a while. I thought maybe she had joined earlier, but she didn't seem to be here. Damn it, making me worry. She could probably freeze to this in this temperature. I hope she picked a better outfit. Looking at this cold-ass weather. Of course, I would be fine, but I know she has a bad temperature when it comes to stuff like this. She better be very careful, wherever she is. She better not be late, too. Katsuki continues to grumble in his head about this idea of her freezing to death and his panic and worry. Kachan? Nah, what do you want, Deku? Have you seen Lion? No. Why? I haven't seen her since earlier. She took off to go get changed and said that she was going to meet up with Shinso for a little bit. Shinso? But I was just with Shinso. I didn't see her. This is weird. Maybe both of them were interrupted. Suddenly, there was Anamoa. Yay. I swear to God. Both Katsuki mumbling and Izuku mumbling to themselves. This is going to be fun. Both of them look over at Class 1B. Class 1B seems to have quite the entrance, with Manamoa taking full charge of making fun of 1A at any possibility they can. It wasn't until he started to mock the fact that we were even missing a member that everyone started to notice that wine was even gone. The hell is his problem? Katsuki started to get very angry. Izuku tried his best to calm him down, because he had to calm himself down as well. A little while into Monomoa's loud gloating and talking and talking and talking, Mr. Aizawa finally appears. It's about damn time. Katsuki thinks to himself. This is more of a third person, I'm sorry, I should have made that clarified. Mr. Aizawa takes a hold of Monomoa's neck so we can't talk. The other hero walks in. Today there will be a special participant with a special ally from the class. So try not to embarrass yourselves, if at all possible. Katsuki's mind again. This one from our class. That must be where Lion went. Slowly, he makes the signal. back to Wine's point of view. There's the signal. I start walking next to Shinso. This feels weird to have the center of attention on us. I mumble out. Try not to think about it, because I don't want to think about it. Can do. And this here is Shinso from General Class C. He's interested in switching to the hero course. One of his main helpers in training, as Class 1A knows, Lion Midoriya. She'll be helping assist the opposite team for win fighting today. Ugh. I'm Hitoshi Shinso. Ojiro and Izuku start cheering. Katsuki's looking at me with a death glare, basically indicating to me, why didn't you tell me? I gave him a sorry look. Everyone starts chatting among themselves. Shinso starts to look down at the ground. Don't tell me you're getting nervous. I'm not. This is just annoying to have this much attention. Mr. Aizawa looks at Shinso. Well, Shinso, I'll just say a few words. He takes a breath. I'm Hitoshi Shinso. I missaid that. I'm Hitoshi Shinso. I'm so bad at pronouncing anyway. I face some of your opponents. I've already faced some of your opponents during the sports festival. But we're not friends just because we fought before. I don't subscribe to that sport of sportsmanship. Oh, give it time, sweetheart, give it time. We're still competing to be the best. And I'm already countless steps behind. I need to prove myself. One day I will become a proper hero. Then I can use my powers to help citizens in need. All of you are hurdles I must overcome. I'm not here in search of friends. Oh, honey, give us some time. Like 5 minutes, Todoroki said the same thing. Thanks for having me. I couldn't help but be sarcastic for the most of it. I know he said he doesn't want to have friends, but 1, me. 2, Izuku makes friends with pretty much anybody. It's impossible to not be his friend, although Katsuki's really trying, even though he's failing miserably. And also, everyone who says, I don't want to have friends, ends up becoming friends with the entire cast within, like, I don't know. Normally happens very quickly. Give it time, Shinso, give it time. A lot of clapping. The whole crowd begins to clap. I flash Shinso a quick smile, with a thumbs up. He looks to the side. Give it time. Izuku already has that face that looks like, I'ma befriend this guy. After that, it's time to start battling. Or at least set up the battles so that way they can start battling. This is going to be fun? Sure. Fun. They start to talk about the matches, about how they'll split us up into a certain amount of teams. One person poses the fact that it will be uneven with the fact that there are more players unless they do it a higher number. He then explains that they're going to have them added into 2 different matches to add on to one of the teams, opposing each other and being there for the team. One match, Shinso will be for Class A, and Wine will be for Class B. Another match, Shinso will be for Class B, and Wine will be for Class A. Simple as that. Mr. Aizawa cuts in. Since she has so much training with Shinso, she will be able to be a great asset to the team opposing him. Plus, it'll be good for him to train knowing someone personal on the other side of the team. As well as that, she cannot give you any secrets about his power sets. So don't even try to ask. I give a smile. Monomoa looks at us for a moment. Why do we need a 1A person to be in our teams? Would you rather that both of them be against you? No. Very well then. Anyways, continuing. He explains some more and then exclaims that the winner, in order to win, that you'll have to capture 4 of the other members and place them in containment. Interesting. This is going to be a very long day. Time to fight twice. The class starts to talk among themselves about the scenarios, about what they could do, and so on and so forth. Katsuki makes a very rude point. I shoot him a glare. Shinso agrees. Oh god, this is going bad. Mr. Aizawa and the other teacher lift up these boxes that says lots A and lots B. Okay. First one. Team A versus Team B is Kiri, Denki, Kota, Froppy versus... I don't know their names, so I can't really commentate on this. Vine hair? Person with thing over face? Person and human beast? I don't know their names very well. Considering I'm not in that class. Sorry. Round 2. Tokoyami, Momo, Hagakure, and Ayama. In the other one, for Class B, Mushroom Person, Walking Comic, someone who looks like a shadow. I'm so bad at names, I feel so bad. And Kendo. I remember her back from the whole beauty thing, the beauty pageant. Still weird this time, I swear. Third round. We have Ojiro, Todoroki, Soji, Ida. And the opposing team, Tattoo. A person who looks to have a similar mask to Zero. A male. And a female that came from America. That's the only thing I know about her. I am horrible. I don't know any of these people's names. Lastly, we got... Well, not lastly. There's one more team after this. Sorry. Second to lastly. We got Kitsuki, a.k.a. Katsuki. Jiro, Zero, Sugar Man. And the versus team. A person with a mask that looks like scales. A bug-looking person. Another male. And I don't even know how you clarify what this guy is. I'm really bad at describing it. I'm really bad at names. Mercy. And I believe this one's the final battle. With Minoru Mineta. That's the best impression I'm ever gonna get. Mina Ashida. Uraraka. And Izuku. My poor baby. Versus the loudest one to ever exist. I mean, Monomoa. Plus, small boy. Female. And person with a mask. Now it's Shinso's turn. I'm going based off of whatever Shinso gets, so it's him to pick for himself. He walks over with a grunt. Ugh. Conveniently, it's the first and last team. So, 1 and 5. He'll be in class 1A, and he'll be in class 1A for the first one. I'll be in class 1B for the first one, and he'll be in class 1B for the last one, and I'll be in class 1A for the last one. I get to work with Izuku? This is fun. I get to work with Izuku, and I get to watch Katsuki do all that training. This is going to be cool. I hope I can get along with the class 1B members. Maybe I'll learn their names. I walk over to class 1B. I hope it's okay for me to join your group. It's always a pleasure. Don't worry, we got this. Trust me, I think we'll be doing good. Cool. After looking past the Vine girl, everyone else just gives a thumbs up. Luckily, they're not as bad as Monomoa. I put my own thumbs up in the team. Then I walk over to Izuku. Looks like we're working together. Gives him a big high five. He high fives me back and smiles. Yes! I was kind of hoping for this outcome. I can assume. I had a weird feeling in my gut, though. Like as if something weird was going to happen. I wonder what that's why. I wonder why is that. Sorry. Uraraka looks over at Izuku. So, this is your first rematch with Shinso. I butt in. You excited? Mm-hmm. I still have questions. He mumbles to himself, for Uraraka to not hear. I still have questions about the bitch. I wonder what. But for right now, somehow pulls out the notebook. He didn't even have pockets. Where the heck did you get that from? Pulls out the notebook from nowhere. I can't wait to see how he fights. Uraraka shuffles herself over to me. Where the heck did he pull that from? You know what? I'm starting to think he has an infinite pocket just tucked away in time and space. I actually have no idea. It's a hidden Midoriya secret that not even I know, and I'm a Midoriya. Mom does it too sometimes. I don't know how.